Not only did I find some things that hit me with an uppercut in nostalgia, I may have found something that I paid $1.50 for that could potentially be worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Stick around. What is up, Internet? Retro here, and welcome back to another episode of Retro Hunting.
Here we go!
So the collection that you see behind me, I have gotten almost completely from garage sales, flea markets, and thrift stores. I go out there and I hunt. I go to these places daily trying to find all the retro goodness. But hey, before we get into it, and you love all things 80s and 90s nostalgia, I'm talking about everything from video games, movies, toys, and more. Make sure to hit that freaking subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss out on new weekly videos. Let's get into it. First pickup is a really good game pickup. This is a Facebook Marketplace deal. I saw this lot of games on Facebook Marketplace, and it was a pretty good deal. I honestly can't remember exactly how the deal went down, but I have footage of it. And I think I talked her down a little bit, and I was also already in the town that she lives. She lives about 45 minutes away from me, but I was there for a meeting, so I messaged her about meeting. We went to the library to meet up. That's always a really good thing to do, is to meet in a public place.
Rick?
Hi.
Hi. Yes, I have them right here.
Okay, cool.
They're all in there. Yeah, I work here, so it's just easier for me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So are you a collector?
I was a collector,
Okay.
and now I'm renting a house, or I'm about to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one
You said this one didn't have the manual.
didn't have
Okay.
neither did Infection, I believe.
These are great games, man.
Yes, I love them. It's just
Time to get rid of them. I got Xenosaga, and then I didn't only get Xenosaga 1, I got 2, and I got 3. So I think right here, that more than covered the cost of the games. And then I got another PS2 game, which is .hack Infection. I can't remember what this is worth nowadays. At one point, they spiked pretty high, and I think they dropped a little bit, but good game. And then Silent Hill Downpour. So a pretty sweet way to start off the week with those 5 games. Next pickup is a 90s board game that I had never heard of or played before, and it is called Out of Control.
In the new game, Out of Control, there's things you have to remember to do and not do. First, Johnny has to clap before he moves. Now, Jeannie has to clap and bark like a dog and remember not to point.
Gotcha!
Now, Sarah has to clap, bark like a dog, remember not to point, and give herself a hug. You win by remembering what you do or don't do and catching everyone doing or not doing it. Jimmy got up to clapping, barking, not pointing, hugging, squawking, but just as he was yelling like Tarzan, Kevin caught him with his elbows on the table, which is why he's winning. Out of Control. The only rules are fun.
So I've never heard or seen this one. Well, apparently the buzzer's going on inside. Let's see. I've never heard of this one. It says the game with the electronic buzzer. Obviously, why are you patting your head and flapping your arms like a chicken? Have you flipped your lid? No, you're just taking your turn in this hilarious family game that has you do some pretty funny things. They don't look like they're doing anything funny at this point on the back of this. They look like they're just playing a game, but I've never seen this one before. I'm a sucker for any 90s board games, so maybe I'll do a review on this. It looks to be all there. Here's all the pieces, and here's this buzzer that keeps going out. That sounds like it's literally going out. And then all the cards, it looks like it's here. So we may give Out of Control a try. Next pickup is a shirt that I actually got at GameStop. Now, is that really retro? Well, it is retro because look at what this shirt is. It's an Oregon Trail shirt. It says, "You have died of dysentery." And this was $5. I couldn't pass up on a GameStop Oregon Trail shirt. Man, who played Oregon Trail? Down below, did you guys play Oregon Trail growing up in school? This was like the highlight of computer class for me, was playing Oregon Trail with all my buddies. Pretty sweet shirt. Okay, so the next pickup, I'm at a little small flea market here in town, and I'm walking around and I spot a My Little Pony lunchbox. Now, do I care about that? No, not really, but next to it is a Ghostbusters Thermos branded lunchbox. Not only the lunchbox, and not only is it pretty decent shape, it also has the thermos inside, and the thermos looks, I mean, practically new and really, really good shape as well. And this was listed for $5. They had this, they were selling this for $5. So I had to pick up the Ghostbusters Thermos. I don't know, guys, again, I don't know where I'm gonna put all this stuff. I'm literally running out of room, and I just picked up some of those other thermoses in the previous episode, but I can't, can you pass it up? Like, would you guys pass up a Ghostbusters Thermos and lunchbox for $5? No, you can't do it. So I'm either gonna keep it or I will sell it at a convention when I'm there next time, but I would really like to keep it, but we'll see. Next pickup is an obscure Nickelodeon show book. So most people don't talk about this show very much. When you talk about Nickelodeon shows, you talk about, you know, Doug, Salute Your Shorts, all that. Well, what about, do you guys remember The Journey of Alan Strange? What I think is hilarious is almost all the Nickelodeon shows actually got books. Like I've seen The Secret World of Alex Mack books. Now I've seen The Journey of Alan Strange. Like I had no idea that they made books on this. I think this show was around for like 2 or 3 seasons, not super long, but I did remember watching it and liking it, but I had to pick up I had to pick this up. I mean, am I ever gonna see that again? Probably not. Okay, next pickup is one of those things that hit me in the face with nostalgia. Like, it's one of those things that I forgot about, and then I remember when I saw it. So I'm at a thrift store, and I'm looking around the thrift store, and I see these cups. Okay, cups were crazy back in the 90s. There was cups for everything, and one of the cup lines that I remember was, I think it was from KFC, and they were the Looney Tunes cups. There was like Tweety Bird, Wild Coyote, and the one that I always wanted was Taz.
From KFC, just $3.49. Wile E. Coyote, Tweety Bird, Bugs Bunny, and Taz.
This Taz cup, and there was another one, this one. Like, man, look at these things. This was my childhood, man. Taz was the 90s, and they are dated 1993, and this one is 1995. So I don't know if one was from KFC and then the other one was from something else, but I'm trying to find the brand of what they are. This one's Applause, and this one does not say. Non-microwavable, top rack dishwasher only. Guys, this is my childhood. Like, oh my gosh, I wanted these so bad when I was growing up. And now I have them when I'm grown up because I'm weird and I collect 90s toys. What's wrong with me? And the last pickup is a thing that I told you at the beginning of the video that I found that could be worth hundreds of dollars. Pretty sure that they are. So I'm at my St. Joe Catholic flea market store. If you've watched any of the episodes, it's the one that opens on Friday, or no, opens on Thursday and runs through Saturday, and stuff is dirt cheap, man. Like, they price things so cheap. So I go over to the board games, and I see a stack of games that are definitely older. Like, they look like probably 70s. And I see the first one I find is this James Bond role-playing some kind of game. It looks really old. I don't know what year this is. But 1983. So this is from the 80s, but it looks like in really good shape. Here's the book, and I think that's all it is. It's like a book and a couple dice. But all the games were only 50 cents. So I find that one. And then over by the James Bond games, I find these. So I find these old Dungeons and Dragons fantasy role-playing game. Basic rules set number 1. And I'm like, dude, this looks really friggin' old. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know anything about it. Here's another one. This is the Immortals set. D&D, the Immortals set. Fantasy role-playing game. I don't know, right? But my buddy, he loves D&D. He actually helps me edit some of this stuff. I like send out a lifeline. I'm like, dude, I text him, I'm calling him, I'm sending him videos. I'm like, dude, help me out. What is this stuff? And finally, I'm like, what am I talking about? This is 50 cents. This is $1 for this and 50 cents for that. Like, just buy it and see what happens. And I do. And I'm like, a couple minutes later, he finally gets in touch with me. He calls me. He's freaking out. He's like, dude, that's like the original D&D modules and guides. I'm like, oh yeah? Is that good? He's like, dude, they're probably worth like 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks each, like for each of those manuals. So I'm like, okay. So I start looking through and I'm like, oh. He's like, dude, you don't just have one, you have a bunch of them. So here's adventure module for characters level 6 through 8. And these things are crispy. I mean, they look like they've never been used before. So there's that one. There is character levels 2 through 5, and then Dungeons and Dragons G1, 2, 3 Against the Giants. Look at these. Like, they look so clean. I mean, almost new, almost like new old stock. 1981 on these. Here's the actual player's manual for the Dungeons and Dragons set 1 or whatever it's called. Here's a rule book. And then in the other one is the same kind of deal. It's like all these different modules. Here is Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. Here's the Immortals one. And there's more. There's just so many of them. Again, all look new. And I don't know off the top of my head. I'll try to do some research to put down below what I paid and what it's worth. But I know it's worth a lot more than $1, $1.50 for all that. I could not believe it. Do you guys play Dungeons and Dragons? Tell me down below. Should I give this a shot? I've never given it a fair shot. Should I? Another retro hunt, guys. I keep finding stuff. I go out some days. If you guys are out there hunting and you're like, how does he find all this crap all the time? I don't find it all the time. Like, I have to consistently go day in and day out. And some days I'm like, I'm never gonna find anything ever again. Never gonna find one more thing, and then I find more. I can't believe, like, I made a whole episode of more stuff that I found. What was your favorite thing that I found in this episode of Retro Hunting? Guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out some of the other videos, and until next time, peace.